quandary. Graz, we start with you, and we start with the Atlanta Falcons. What should they do at quarterback?
Honestly, they should try and figure out a way to get Kirk Cousins back. They've restructured his contract in such a way that they pretty much have to release him, but that doesn't prevent them from bringing him back on a different deal. He played for Kevin Stefanski in Minnesota, the new Falcons head coach. They know each other. We don't know what the status is of Michael Penix's recovery from injury. Cousins finished the season as a starter. It would make some sense for them to find a way to reunite.
Heading south to Miami, J-Mac, what should the Dolphins do at quarterback?
Doesn't look like Tua Tagovailoa is going to be back. I'm assuming this. I would say, hey, if you're Jeff Hafley, you just spent the last 2 years going against Malik Willis every single day in practice, him running the scout team. You've gotten to see his development there under LaFleur. Why not bring him over as a free agent and see what he can do with your offense with Bobby Slog as the offensive coordinator?
Love that, too.
Final one. It's a question, Jeff, we've been asking every year for 30 years. What should the Browns do at quarterback?
Good luck, Jeff.
We have crushed this one, huh? I mean, look, I think it's going to be Sanders. I think it's going to be Gabriel and Deshaun Watson. I think will be the three that they let compete once OTAs begin. They're going to let them all battle it out, let everybody see who the best of the best is, and hopefully build around there. But this thing has been an absolute disaster. And I thought the Sanders, as he began to progress throughout the season, gave him a chance to actually go prove himself, which is always good. Gabriel the same. And now you'll have Deshaun Watson coming back from, I don't remember the last time he played, 5 years, 4 years ago? Whatever.
It was a couple.
It's been a while.
Last time he played well.
Those are different answers.
For sure.
Very different answers. Speaking of Cleveland, Micah Parsons, the Defensive Player of the Year, asked Myles Garrett, or I should say that Defensive Player of the Year, if Shedeur was going to be the Browns' starting quarterback next season. Here's how he responded.
Do y'all have the guy? Is Shedeur the guy?
That's what we're looking at as a guy. We're going to give him a shot to prove that he's a guy. So we're not going to give anyone that title until they go out there and earn it. And he was the last person to be on the field, and he showed some flashes. So we're going to give him an opportunity to show what we can really do, uncork the ball.
A lot of big gets for Parsons on Media Row last week. Graz, he might have a future in this sort of thing.
It wasn't a ringing endorsement of
that's a terrible question.
Somebody's going to be the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He was there last year.
He was starting at the end of this season.
He was.
Does Shedeur carry that momentum into next season? Is he going to be the starter all through this process?
It really depends on who else they can get. And, you mentioned Deshaun Watson. He is under contract there for one more year at a fully guaranteed $46 million. So if he can play, you would think he'd have a shot. So, I think Cleveland's quarterback situation, breaking news, obviously very murky and difficult to figure out. But Shedeur Sanders, I believe, would be in the mix. I mean, new coaching staff, I think, fresh eyes on all of it. We will see. Right. But, I think it's way too early to call this one.
And I think that's the challenge. You look at what's in Cleveland, and people will say, well, why don't they trade for an example of Kyler Murray? You just mentioned Deshaun Watson's contract. Right. So, going to get another guy that was a starter on another team and adding that contract to the quarterback room. And then I think you look at the draft. If they go and draft another guy, now you're looking at a quarterback room with two quarterbacks in just their second year who have minimal experience, a brand new rookie who's getting introduced to the NFL, and Deshaun Watson. So it seems as though, rolling with what they have in their quarterback room makes the most sense. And I would assume when you start the offseason program, day one, Shedeur Sanders would be the guy that takes reps as the starting quarterback. Does that mean a lot when you have months to go and preparing for the upcoming season? Probably not. But I think he's earned the right that the job should start out as his, depending upon what Graz said. If they bring in another guy that they're paying a lot of money, then you're going to assume he's the guy.
Yeah, he's earned his way from, what was it, fourth spot or fifth spot last year to OTAs where he's getting no reps. So he'll get to work in with the ones. Listen, they got a lot of issues in Cleveland, right? I mean, the O-line's got issues of who's going to be hanging around, who's not hanging around. I know the defense with Jim Schwartz. There's a whole lot of questions that need to be answered on top of the QB question. So Todd's got his work cut out for him. He's gonna enjoy this offseason, I think.
Maybe just a reboot year in Cleveland?
Yeah, they've probably time to take a step back and
slow the thing down,
and rebuild.
Slow it down a little
Maybe
bit.
accept some losing for a short period of time.
I was a part of those years. I got no comment.
I was about to say, why don't you chime in? No?
Good luck, Cleveland. I'm rooting for you.
Too soon.
Team that's been rebuilding and got great results. Or breakup in the NFL. Graz, we're going to begin with you. Max Crosby, should he and the Raiders make up or break up?
It sounds like it's going to be a breakup. It sounds like Max Crosby wants to try and play somewhere else. So, look, the Raiders should be able to get a lot for him. Still 28 years old, high-level edge rusher. Yes, coming off of injury, surgery, etc., but he should be fine, and I think it'd be a good way for the Raiders to start a little bit of a reset.
J-Mac, similar question, but we're going to focus on Kyler Murray in the Cardinals. Make up or break up?
I'm going to say break up, but you do it before Valentine's Day so you don't have to buy the expensive gift. This is a situation where both parties just look at each other and say, you know what? You've grown in a different direction and so have I. We're trying to make a change in Arizona with LaFleur coming in as the head coach. I think it is time for Kyler Murray to get a new picture, some new scenery to further his career. I think there are going to be some teams that could be interested in Kyler Murray as their quarterback.
The Cardinals already bought the gift. It's about a $100 million gift. That's going to be hard. That's a hard one to
Don't
stomach.
buy another gift.
Okay.
Saturday, let's go to Philadelphia. Should A.J. Brown and the Eagles make up or break up?
I'm the only positive guy. We're staying together through Valentine's Day, baby. We're keeping this thing together. We're making up. Howie's in the house. We got Sirianni in there. We got new offensive coordinators. We got new offensive line coaches. Let's bring it all together, hone it in. Don't let go of one of the best in our business to go somewhere else. I think they make up in this deal.
Speaking of A.J. Brown, he hopped on Micah Parsons' podcast and spoke about Philly's shortcomings in 2025 and the changes coming to the offense next season.
What could go wrong?
We have great leaders in our locker room, and I'm fortunate to be a part of that, especially on offense. And we do have a lot of talent, but talent gets us nowhere. Sometimes change is not a bad thing. I have the utmost respect for KP. He to me, he did a tremendous job, and he has a great heart. But I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for what's to come. So.
All right, problem solved. Doesn't sound like a player who's necessarily dying to leave Philadelphia. What are you hearing?
No, I think it could go either way, honestly. I don't think the Eagles are eager to trade him, but if he were to make it known behind the scenes that he wanted to be somewhere else, I think, they feel like they might be able to get something for him. So it's this one's a difficult one to predict. I can sit here and tell you I'm pretty sure Kyler Murray's not going to be a Cardinal next year. I don't really have a sense of how it breaks down with A.J. Brown and the Eagles. I think it's a relationship that could be mended, certainly, but also, we have seen enough and heard enough from A.J. Brown to indicate that things haven't always been rosy there. So hate to give a non-answer, but it's early in the offseason.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, for the guy who, 2 years ago was reading books on the sideline, and this past year could not have been, doing social media more for his boy KP. It sounds like that was not the greatest help. So
he tried his best.
Yeah, I mean, So whatever that sounds like, you hope. If you're an Eagle, it opens up your offense. It opens up your run game. It opens up for Devonta Smith. It opens up for your tight. He is a key piece in this offense. So if anything you can do to keep him in-house and keep him happy, I think that's what you try to do.
That's the thing to keep in mind. The Eagles would need to know who replaces him, right?
Exactly.
It isn't like the Seahawks can trade DK Metcalf because they know what Jackson Smith and Jigba is about to be. I don't think the Eagles feel like there's a one-for-one replacement.
That's right.
If there's an opportunity, which team should have this guy circled?
If I'm Brandon Beane, the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, I'm looking at this situation coming off of what just happened, firing Sean McDermott, you're elevating Joe Brady there as your head coach. This is an opportunity to get a wide receiver in the building for Josh Allen to throw the ball to. So, yes, if I'm Brandon Beane, I am calling Howie Roseman and saying, hey, AJ, I know you guys went through some things throughout the course of the season. He's saying all the right things, but if there's anything that goes down, let me be your first call to bring him over to Buffalo.
Have you listened to Brandon Beane? Receiver? We don't need that, though. We're good.
That was after
We're good.
That was after he exhausted all options.
And
and nobody gave him one. Now it's like we're all set.
Okay.
I mean, you played the other side. You know what it's like to defend these guys. If you're Dallas, New York, Washington, you'd probably very much like to see Philly trade this guy, would you not?
Oh, absolutely. And listen, for Philly, that's the thing. You have a brand new offensive coordinator. It is a new day in Philadelphia after what they went through last year offensively. you have to try to work this out with A.J. Brown. To me, you can't look at this and now in February say, yeah, we're probably going to try to move on. There would have to be something that happens throughout the course of the offseason that shows that he doesn't want to be there. You keep a player like that. When you're trying to win the Super Bowl right now, as Philly is, you can't just let him walk out the building.
The switch at coordinator, do you think, Roz, moving in the next season, it's going to kind of ease the tension that we had from the past year?
I think it'll open things up in terms of, your ability to be optimistic. I think by the middle of this past season, things were seeming pretty grim about the offense in Philadelphia. And with some new blood in there, I think, there's plenty of opportunity in the offseason to say, oh, yeah, this is exciting. They're going to use me this way. We're going to do these things. Absolutely.
And this is listen, with Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach who stepped down or stepped away, this is going to be a massive overhaul for Philly. So this is not just going to be a one piece. Like they're selling this to everybody. They're selling it to linemen, to AJ, to Hurts. Everybody has to buy in. This is a completely different system that they've run in probably 5 or 6 years. In all honesty, this is a massive change. Don't undermine how big this is for everybody.
Changes in Philadelphia, changes in Cleveland as well. Coming up next, the